Once again, we have a great Bhakti Vriksha preacher with us who has had many years past in Bhakti Vriksha preaching. He is a supervising preacher with almost 5 circle servants under him. His name is His Grace Srivas Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Let us know from him what is his material qualification and what is he doing in his material life, and then we'll get back to our routine questions, as you know well. All right, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, I've been in Bangalore for the last 15 years, and I've been working in Oracle. So then I did my engineering. I'm basically from Coimbatore, and I've done my MS from BITS Pilani. Been working here for the last 15 years in software industry. And also, as soon as I came to Bangalore, I started my Krishna consciousness. So this is my material background.
So where are you working right now?
I work for Oracle. So I work as a software lead there. So this is where in Bangalore I was. I was earlier with Sun, and Oracle bought Sun. So for the last 15 years, I'm a Oracle and Sun employee.
Great to know that. All right, Prabhu. So let's start with our routine questions. My first question to you is, how long have you been associated with Bhakti Vriksha?
Somehow by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, from the time I came to Krishna consciousness, it's been 2-3 months from the time I came. I started attending Bhakti Vriksha and then got into the mood of Bhakti Vriksha, and then so I can just rightly say the number of years I'm in Krishna consciousness is the number of years it is around 15 years I'm in Bhakti Vriksha.
Oh, great, wonderful. How long have you been involved in developing your group in the community?
It's been around 13 years. So I was as a Bhakti Vriksha member for a year or 2. Then slowly I just started working as a Bhakti Vriksha leader and having my own group, and gradually grew as a Bhakti Vriksha leader, then sector leader, circle leader, super. So it's been around 12-13 years.
All right. Can you describe how the relationships between the devotees are in your group?
Yeah, it's like we have a Vaikuntha atmosphere. So as a Bhakti Vriksha, we all know that it's a process of love and care. So we have a close gathering in our Bhakti Vriksha. Like Bhakti Vriksha itself, we have a close gathering. So people know each other well, and they have a family feeling. So especially all the members in various circles, they have a very tight relationship, and they are very close to each other.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, before I proceed further with my questions, I would like the viewers to know how many groups, how many Bhakti Vriksha cells in particular are you supervising overall, including all your circle servants and sectors and all?
Yeah, so there are 5 circles, and each varies between 10, 15, 20. So on average, we have around 60-65 groups we are handling here in Narasimha Giridhari Mandir.
Oh, that's great to know. All right. So, continuing with my routine questions, what is the secret of the development of harmony within the members?
It's basically the trust. So when they grew, and then how the love and care has been transferred between the leaders and members, and when they grew, so they look after to the leader, and the leader also thinks like how they are dependent on their Krishna consciousness. So this loving relationship between the leaders and the members creates a harmony in the group.
What has been your contribution in developing your group in the community?
Yeah, so as I started my Bhakti Vriksha career, there was not any goal, anything like I had to become a supervisory preacher or anything. So just in the days of the career of Bhakti Vriksha, I've been keep going, and mercy of Guru and Krishna, it was just falling in place, and I'm right now here in this condition.
How humble of you. That's very nice answer. Well, what do you consider are the special achievements of your group on account of Bhakti Vriksha preaching in the community as compared to other preaching methods?
So here, basically, everybody gets into the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They really want to give this mercy to the others. So I think that mood only made like to get into that track and expansion happened.
Please tell us, what is the mood of leadership in Bhakti Vriksha?
If you see each position when we grow in the ladder, they are actually Bhakti Vriksha servant leader, and then it's a sector servant and circle servant. So basically, maybe it's an external responsibility and position is given as a circle sector, but actually it comes with a tag of a servant. So we are always a servant of the devotees and Krishna.
Please describe the relationship between the servant leaders and the devotees, and also between different servant leaders themselves.
So we know in Bhagavatam there are three types of relationship. So like one is serving the juniors, one is serving the seniors, serving the peers. So this hierarchy gives the same structure for the Bhakti Vriksha members to align with. So one is servant leader and servant Bhakti Vriksha members. They have a relationship of juniors, and they look after to the leader, and that's how the relationship is. But when it comes to servant leaders, they are peers. So, and then it comes to the hierarchy, they have a senior relationship. So that's how all the three types of relationship is fulfilled in Bhakti Vriksha.
So Prabhu, how do you think we can convince others to take up Bhakti Vriksha preaching?
So from the scriptures, from Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can understand that mood of this movement, which is started by Srila Prabhupada, started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the golden age. So the main, as Prabhupada mentioned, preaching is the essence. So whatever we are going to do in our movement, finally if preaching is not going to happen, then actually, as Prabhupada said, the essence is not fulfilled. And now people who have to get convinced that we have to do Bhakti Vriksha, they can just see in various areas how the Bhakti Vriksha is really fulfilling this need. So maybe they can take as a role model other Bhakti Vriksha places where it's happening, and that will be an impetus for them to implement the Bhakti Vriksha so that the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets fulfilled.
Is Bhakti Vriksha an idea of a particular group, or is it in compliance with the methodology designed by our past acharyas?
Yeah, actually we have this Bhakti Vriksha starting, it's not from the current disciples of Srila Prabhupada or Srila Prabhupada or other. It's actually, the root is starting from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why it's like the tree. Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in the Adi Leela that Mahaprabhu is saying that he's the only gardener and he has a lot of fruits, and we can see different branches, trunks where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining. So it is basically rooting from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And to add to this question, or maybe to elaborate it, I mean, has the system been evolved or created by some group, or was the system generated by some of our acharyas?
Yeah, as I rightly mentioned before also, it is basically coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and basically it's slowly diluted, and again this was actually again started by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And then actually a wonderful example is Srila Prabhupada. So we can see how Srila Prabhupada implemented ISKCON through Bhakti Vriksha. He just went to one place in America, then he started one temple, and then he brought up some devotees there. And from there, some of the devotees, they branched out to some other place, and Prabhupada empowered them to start another temple, and that's how ISKCON is now where we are. So it's actually coming from the root from Mahaprabhu and other acharyas.
Very well explained, Prabhu. So, how long does it take for a member to start chanting Mahamantra after joining a Bhakti Vriksha group?
When the Bhakti Vriksha member comes right from the day one, he interacts from the group and sees how enthusiastic him. And since we know this Bhakti Vriksha is all about interaction, and we're having interactive sessions. So when the Bhakti Vriksha member sees that so many people are finding a lot of benefit out of chanting, we have seen many Bhakti Vriksha members starts chanting from the day one.
How fast do the members adapt to our culture while undergoing Bhakti Vriksha training?
If they are very enthusiastic, in my personal experience, I have seen in a year they come to a level of Srila Prabhupada chanting 16 rounds, 1.5 years, in an average level when a member is enthusiastic.
How much beneficial is Bhakti Vriksha to the newly joined devotees?
What happens is when a new devotee comes and sits in a Bhagavatam class in a bigger group, and everybody has questions when they come to the spiritual seeking self-realization, and when it's a bigger group they may not be in a condition to open up, but Bhakti Vriksha being a smaller group, 5-10 members, so they easily open up and their questions get queried, and it's easy for them to advance them from the day one.
How fast do the devotees progress in Bhakti Vriksha?
Yeah, we have this part of the Bhakti Vriksha manual, we have this concept of Shiksha ceremony. So as I rightly said, we have this Shiksha ceremony happening every 3 months. So if somebody is very enthusiastic, they hop a level one by one, they come from 1 round to 4 round, 8 round, 12 round, 16 round, which means 5 to 6 Shiksha ceremonies they are in Prabhupada Ashram.
Well, what are the scopes for a devotee who has completed Bhakti Vriksha? What next?
So as we were discussing earlier, it comes in a tree hierarchy. Once the Bhakti Vriksha member finishes his whole course of whatever the weeks is, next he becomes a Bhakti Vriksha leader, and then he actually leads a group, and then he helps all other group members, and eventually these group members are come to a level of leaders. Then he goes to a level of a sector servant, managing number of Bhakti Vrikshas, and then when again he grows from the Bhakti Vriksha leader to a sector servant, then again he manages and goes to a level of a circle servant, and from the circle servant he goes to a supervisory preacher. So that's how there are a lot of opportunities for somebody in Bhakti Vriksha.
So what is the most advantageous aspect of Bhakti Vriksha?
So one important thing is the whole Krishna consciousness is based on love and care. It is the loving relationship with Krishna and devotees. So that we can see in Bhakti Vriksha. So we can see how the love between Krishna and devotees flows in Bhakti Vriksha between devotees, and they can really understand Krishna Prema.
How is the mood of a devotee towards the temple services who has undertaken Bhakti Vriksha?
So actually, when a temple has Bhakti Vriksha, or Bhakti Vriksha is integrated with the temple, it becomes still more blissful and joyful, because Bhakti Vriksha, they attend Bhakti Vriksha on the gathering, and then they come on a Sunday and festivals, and they do a lot of services in the temple. So that way they become very joyful and very happy. And at the same time, in the temple also it becomes more organized when they implement Bhakti Vriksha. And what happens, all their services gets easily achieved by segregating between each Bhakti Vrikshas, and that's what currently happening in our temple here.
How expensive is Bhakti Vriksha program?
It doesn't require any money or anything. We have to little sacrifice in our mood to really understand how this Bhakti Vriksha works, and if everybody can really implement this, they can get the real fruit of Prabhupada's desire and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire.
Are there any limitations in terms of gender or age or material qualification or the social status of the member of Bhakti Vriksha?
No. Everybody is invited for the Bhakti Vriksha, so we have no age bar, creed, anything. Maybe we have a separate programs for the kids and other thing, but otherwise there is no qualifications required. Even After they attend the Bhakti Vriksha, somebody is not very well qualified. Even in our scenario, we have a Mataji who has done her third standard or fourth standard, and she's doing a Bhakti Vriksha leader role.
Oh, amazing. And how about the youth? Do you think we need a separate group for youth, or Bhakti Vriksha is capable enough to develop either Mataji's or Prabhuji's youth groups?
Everybody is like, everybody part of this, and all groups are managed in this Bhakti Vriksha. But we have seen, generally when there are 3-4 youths and they see all the youths are part of the group, they get an impetus to grow. So what we do is we use the same Bhakti Vriksha methodology, and we have separate youth programs for the girls and Prabhujis.
How effective are the Siksha levels, and what are the benefits?
Yeah, so what happens is, if somebody is not into Bhakti Vriksha, they are 2 years, 3 years, their career of Krishna consciousness, and there is no guidance given to them what is the rules they have to follow. Maybe sometimes some devotees guides them, and sometimes they read Srila Prabhupada books, and then they come to the level of initiation, they come to know, maybe I should have practiced this, maybe I should have read this book like this. But Siksha process is so systematically designed from the day one, and they know what they are supposed to do for this level, this level, this level. By the time they come to the level of initiation, they have gone through the whole process, and so it's very easier for them to grow in their Krishna consciousness.
What is your opinion about the structure of Bhakti Vriksha in terms of hierarchy?
We can see materially when you are qualified and you grow in your career, maybe you become more boss, something like that. So, but when you come to Krishna consciousness, and especially in the Bhakti Vriksha career, maybe by responsibility, some may feel that you are like a bigger post or anything. But unless somebody doesn't have the mood of a servant, they cannot really catch up with their roles and responsibilities.
Amazing. That's about the mood. But what my question is, how is the structure? Is it good for the progress and propagation of Krishna consciousness? Is it helping it centralize the whole movement? Or is it that there are separate entities all around? Does it gather everything together?
Yes. See, Bhakti Vriksha, we have Bhakti Vriksha totally integrated with the temple. It has a very uniting factor. Like, for example, we have different levels. From the Bhakti Vriksha level, we have separate gatherings as per the manual. And when it comes to sector level, we have gathering of all the Bhakti Vrikshas. And when it comes to the circle level, so it's basically we can see Bhakti Vriksha as a very uniting force, and it integrates much with the temple, and that's a very important factor actually.
So how effective is Bhakti Vriksha in expansion and multiplication?
Yeah, so actually His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, one of the quote he was mentioning, in a Bhakti Vriksha, when the leader is sitting with all the members, he sees each member as the future leader from the day one. So what happens by the time, I have personally seen at least 50-75% of the members become leaders, and if they don't become, also by inspiring them and giving them various opportunities, they become leaders. So that way, this is a wonderful methodology for our effective expansion.
And how effective is Bhakti Vriksha in bringing out a preacher from a devotee?
Initially, what happens, people, especially when they come to self-realization programs, they are really frustrated and they want to simply hear. They don't want to speak. But eventually, from the day one, we make it very interactive, and they bring out their inherent Krishna consciousness outside. When they start speaking about Krishna consciousness, they become more blissful. And in the sessions, we make them very clearly understand. We have the part of the 7 sessions, we have the preaching session, and we hear from people, and when they start speaking about Krishna to the others, they are very happy. And that mood is cultivated from the day one. And eventually, slowly, some people are really little shy and reluctant, but they see in the group many people share these experiences, and eventually they get molded to become a preacher by the end of 64 weeks or whatever. It is 1 year, 1.5 years.
All right, Prabhu. So now I'll get little personal with the questions. What was the biggest personal challenge for you to take leadership in Bhakti Vriksha?
every second we can see, like, when the members, they grow in the Krishna consciousness and they give a lot of respect. So it is something, the pride which goes in between, and we say, so many people are under me, maybe I'm something great. But I feel the bigger challenge is to be always humble doing this process of Krishna consciousness and preaching.
How sweet, I must say. This is a very wonderful mood that you have expressed. Well, so how your involvement affected your family? What was their reaction?
Yeah, my good wife, she was also a devotee when I married, and basically my more anxiety before my marriage, we can say it's a big challenge personally, was actually whether my ashram change will help me to align and continue in my Bhakti Vriksha career. But somehow my wife also joined, and she also aligned with the career and with the process of Krishna consciousness, and it went higher and higher, and by mercy of Guru and Gauranga, everything fell in place.
Oh, so nice. Well, how do you find the time? What do you have to sacrifice for handling so many groups and such a huge management?
Yeah, so actually I'm working, and in the software field, it requires a lot of time. But somehow I heard a quote, I've been hearing this also from the initial stage. So if you give time to Krishna, Krishna gives time to you, so that you can give more time to Krishna. So I think it has really worked for me in Bhakti Vriksha. It's like, and I always see to that, even my material duties are done properly. But somehow Krishna gives me time so that I can take care of my material things also. At the same time, I can give more time for Krishna.
Beautifully explained. What is the one of the biggest personal realization you gained doing this service?
In every minute and every responsibility and the career, when we grow, I have to start depending on Krishna, depending on Guru, and then we become more humble. Otherwise things doesn't work, and how to keep up relationship, because Bhakti Vriksha is something result oriented. So the time all these qualities goes down, the result keeps coming down. So I think all these qualities I have to develop so that I can get a result in Bhakti Vriksha.
Please share at least one story or an anecdote of a real transformation that happened in one of your BV members.
I was hearing a Bhakti Vriksha session by His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj. I was like how important it is to give love and care to the members, and he quoted a nice example how a Christian missionary lady, he was going to the church and came to Bhakti Vriksha, and then after some time he met an accident, or he was not well, and he was there in the hospital, and nobody from the Bhakti Vriksha side, they went and visited her, and gradually from the church they visited, and she felt, maybe the church is better. So this was a real inspiration for me, and I always kept in my heart that all the requirements of the Bhakti Vriksha members are always sufficed. And we had one Bhakti Vriksha member in our group. This is 5-10 years before, and there was a lady who was coming to her, and she was very much enthusiastically coming to the Bhakti Vriksha, and she had a big anxiety that his Bhakti Vriksha, his husband is not coming to Krishna consciousness, and he was a drunkard, and every day he used to come and tell, no, he's lying in this corner, in this place, that place. And once what happened, he has drunk and he fell, and one car ran over his leg, and his leg was broken, and he was lying in the house. And then this inspirational quote which I heard in the session inspired me, and I visited one day to his house, and we were just inquiring what happened, all those things, and told the husband, no, don't worry, any help required. And that's all. This incident happened, and the chapter was closed. Then eventually we were noticing this Bhakti Vriksha member lady's husband coming to the temple, started chanting 1 round, started chanting 4 rounds, chanted 8 rounds, chanted 16 rounds, and actually currently he's now full time in our Narasimha Giridhari Mandir. So then one day I had a inquisitiveness within my ear, what it made him such amazing transformation within this thing, and I went to him and asked him personally sometime what made him learn it. And he told me, when I was in that particular condition in my house, my leg is broken, you came and visited me. That really inspired me and took the process of Krishna consciousness. So I can feel like, how Bhakti Vriksha, which is filled with love and care, when properly, it is enforced, it can reap benefit and bring that inherent love within everybody, and they can start practicing Krishna conscious with full heart.
That's a wonderful example. All right, please give us some examples of material or spiritual help which your group members derived from the Bhakti Vriksha groups, like the way you mentioned about this one, but about some help that was actually given to the members within the members, not by the leaders, say.
Yeah, so Bhakti Vriksha just not only takes about the spiritual needs, it also takes about the material needs, because it for somebody to grow in their Krishna consciousness, three things have to be taken care: material things, is material or physical things, spiritual needs, and the emotional needs. I feel all these three things, the system is well established, it's taken care. So I can just see one of the very important thing in a person's career for him to take up Krishna conscious, two things is, one is his job, other thing is his marriage. So we have what we do is, somebody is in need of a job when they come to our Bhakti Vriksha. So we try to connect them to the other members who are in a well position in their career, and that way I can personally recollect that two of them got job with the help of the other members, and that helped them to take up the process of Krishna conscious with so much of inspiration, and they're growing. And also, we also have a marriage bureau set up here, part of the Bhakti Vriksha, and we see 2-3 of them are already, we are helping them in their material needs, and then they get a devotee wife, and it helps them to climb in their Krishna conscious ladder.
It was amazing talking to you, Prabhuji, and we got so much nectar, so much inspiration. I'm sure our viewers will get a lot of benefit from this interview. We sincerely thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.